If you ask just random people, I think most people would say they don't know what their strength is. But successful people or tend to be successful people can name them right out. So imagine you know what you bring to the table that's different to other people. You will never be scared of losing a job because you know you bring something special to the table. We should not focus on what we like. We should focus on what we can do. And that's your skill set. Because your likes and dislikes change over time.
Before we begin, I hope you dear viewers and listeners forgive us for any grammatical and language mistakes made in this talk. Even though we want to try our best to perfect it, what's most important for us is to get the message across. So we try not to be held back by the fear of making some mistakes. Thank you for your understanding. Now, let's jump right in. For this episode of the Lessons Learned, our special guest today, well, you could say that she is the very first YouTuber in Thailand. She is now an inspiring strength consultant, public speaking trainer, and my favorite content creator. And today she will be sharing with us the biggest lessons learned from her 10-year experience of creating content on YouTube, as well as the secret to boosting your self-confidence and discovering your unique strength. And this is พี่ปอน ยาคอปเซนค่ะ Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is our dearest, coolest พี่สาวชาวเน็ตพี่ปอน ยาคอปเซนค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ Thank you for having me.
แจ้ของพวกเรานั่นเองนะคะทุกคน
สวัสดีค่ะ
I have been waiting for this moment พี่ปอน Finally I'm such a big fan of you if you can't already tell
เป็นเกียรติมากค่ะที่ได้มาเนี่ยเพจเนี้ยติดตามอ่ะคือเจ้าของเพจเขาสดใสอ่ะดูแล้วแบบใจฟูใจพองต่างๆ
โอ้ยตายละไม่ต้องพูดคุยอะไรแล้วค่ะวันนี้คือนั่งระทวยอย่างเดียวเลย First of all, before we getting into anything, I think could you please briefly introduce yourself a little bit?
Yes, I am a content creator. I've been on YouTube for over 10 years. I can't believe I say that. So apart from being a content creator both on Facebook and YouTube, I'm also a coach. I'm a strength certified coach, and I'm also a public speaking coach as well. So I do a little bit of this and that. So, but mainly I'm in the human development section.
As far as I know, you have worn many hats. You have been doing so many things, of course. Yeah. This is my observation, so please correct me if I'm wrong. But I feel like you have, I'm not sure what's the word, like you have such a flexibility in the things that you choose to do for over the past 10 years. Yeah, I feel like you never have the limit of the scope of the things that you want to try to do. This is my observation.
Yeah, that's a very positive way of putting it.
What? Really? I feel like
my parents would say all over the place.
No.
AKA all over the place.
Which to me, that's quite a strength. People, I don't know if I personally think like, I feel like there's no limit to what you can achieve or what you can do. And to me, thinking of Pipon is not tied to certain occupation or certain task. I feel like you as a person inspire us in this area. And would you say so that your roles shift? And I feel like, okay, this year you're doing this thing, and maybe the next 2 years you're doing something like super amazing, and we'll be like, Pipon, you did it. Would you agree with me?
I love you so much for being so positive. Your perspective on things are so positive, and that's one of your strengths. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
ได้หนึ่งแล้ว
We'll talk about that later. But yes, I'm the kind of person who, I think thanks to my parents, they never stop me from doing what I want. So whatever I want, they just let me do it. So that's why I get to try a lot of things. When I was in Australia, I was a florist. You know, I worked in a fruit and flower shop. So I had to arrange flowers. I was, what do you call those people who call people at home and ask for them to give them answers for surveys, like almost telesale, but I'm not selling anything. I'm just taking surveys.
Okay.
I work at kindergarten. I work at burger shop. I do so many things in my life, and that's true that you've mentioned that. I've done quite a lot. So I would thank all of that to my parents for giving me that freedom to do all that I've done. Yeah.
Pretty much like you, I think there used to be some period in my life where I feel like I'm a jack of all trades, but the master of none. คือเหมือนเป็ดอย่างเงี้ยค่ะ
That's me. I think sometimes it takes different times for different people to realize what they really want to spend all their time and energy in. Right now, I'm really focusing on human development. I think after 38 years, I have noticed that I've enjoyed working with human development in training, in coaching, because I've actually been in training since I finished university. Since I was 24, 26. Yeah. After graduated, I'm a trainer straight away. Like I train for public speaking and presentation for a really big company. So I think I've always been in this business, but just because I've been on like kind of entertainment business for a while, I distanced from it. But I think my heart has always been with human development.
You are the very first, if not the very first content creator, YouTuber in Thailand. And that's way before YouTube was even a thing. So can we trace back to that time a little bit to like what inspired you? Because you're doing so many other things as well. So what inspired you to start a YouTube channel?
I think being in front of camera has always been something very natural to me. I just went home a few weeks ago and we were going through the pictures, and my dad and everybody in my family would say, you have the most picture in the family, or maybe in the whole province of Koran. You own the most photos. And that's true. Like I like to be in front of camera since I was young. So it's not something that I would say, I've never dreamed of myself being in front of camera before. I'm not saying that at all. I love it. And but when I first started doing IDTV, that was when I was so bored as a housewife in Norway. I just moved there. I had no friends. I had nothing to do because there was a period I had to wait before I can start my Norwegian classes. So I was home and had nothing to do. I liked watching funny clips on YouTube at the time. So I thought, I have cameras. I have a computer, I have cameras, and it can record. So maybe I should just have fun with it.
Did you have like a certain expectation that, maybe I can be like a, no.
Zero expectation. That it was because back then there were no monetization from any of these content creating. So it was just pure fun. Like I just had fun and, what would you say, the mimicking people, or how would you describe
impersonation?
Impersonation has always been my thing since I was young. Since I was like a very little girl, I would listen to something on the radio, and it was called คุณยายแอนตาซินนะคะมันเป็นแอนตาซินand I would make my voice old, and that was since I was very young. So impersonating was always my thing, and I make people laugh with that since I was young. So I started impersonating personalities that I see in the news at the time. So back then it was sanuk.com ค่ะตอนนั้นคือ the biggest news online was sanuk.com. So I would stroll through all of the news, and I would see different personalities. Some people would speak English and Thai, คุณพลอย and some people would like be แบบแบ๊ว be แบบคุกกี้แบ๊วๆแบบไม่รู้อะค่ะอะไรพูดไทยไม่ค่อยชัดอะไรเงี้ย
มันเปลี่ยนนิดนึงอะค่ะ
ลืนปีอะไรเงี้ยค่ะอะไรเงี้ยก็เลยพอเห็นเป็นแบบนั้นก็คือแบบอุ๊ย I don't need any more inspiration you know as an impersonator you just need a very strong prototype and then you just become that person yeah and I think that people find that funny
Right. I think when I first learned about your characters, and then I find that Pipon is such a role model because I'm not sure about other people, but I also do the same things. I will be seeing like the pretty MC in the in และนะจุดนี้สำหรับท่านใดที่เดินเข้ามาพร้อมกับบัตรประชาชนรับไปเลย so
they have a very specific rhythm to them
the first year what's the feedback like there are a lot of people coming in giving you comments
yeah because at the time there were so little YouTubers at the time so as soon as I have published all of my videos all my friends who was at the time working in magazines you know kind of like in the magazines business start sharing it around and people in the business start spreading the words that she's so funny so I get to be on all of the magazines at the time like the feedback was crazy it's like she's a rising star like I got on cnngo.com Kitty who's the writer at CNN Go at the time wrote about me as like Thailand rising YouTube star and you know it was just like it would never have happened today
do you keep doing it consistently after that
no I think I got lost because I started because I had fun with it it was something fun and then later on it became I took it as my identity too much I think I was too much I don't know I defined myself as a YouTuber and then the turning point was when I was hired to make a video clip I think I might have been one of the first person who was paid to do a YouTube video clip at the time so I took the job because I want to prove to my husband that we can move to Thailand I want to be in Thailand so we can move to Thailand because I can make money off of this so I took the job and it just somehow just made me feel so bad because they asked me to say particular things and just dictate the way that I create something that used to be fun for me so it wasn't fun anymore for me so after that paid job I just disappeared for a while.
For how long would you say?
For maybe a year or two. Then when I came back to Thailand, so I moved back to Thailand and I was given opportunity by Workpoint channel to be a presenter, a host. So my work was really first half of the day and I was really free the second half of the day. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just turn the camera on and talk about daily news for a while. I would say for a few months until I was bored. I had nothing else to say. I think in my life I talk too much, you know, and it gets to a point where I think I talk too much. I should stop, you know, because you feel like you always have to get on that wave. You know, whatever people are talking about, it's kind of like catching the waves all the time. It's kind of tiring. So I stopped doing that. And then there was the Face Thailand.
Okay.
Yes. So that was kind of like a semi comeback to the business then. I didn't earn anything though. But I really enjoyed analyzing characters. In the show so I was doing very deep analyzing about everybody and people liked it and so my name was kind of mentioned again at the time you know I think for me personally I change in front of people's eyes as a YouTuber I change and revolved with my content being a YouTuber. I think I didn't like myself back when I was doing the face recap and analyzing everybody. When I look back, I literally deleted all of the face recaps.
I see.
Yeah, I didn't like myself back then that I would sit there and just analyzing and think she's like this, like that, like this, like that. So I didn't like myself at the time. So I stopped doing that, and later on I deleted all of the trace, YouTube trace. Yeah. And so I grew a little bit, right? And then after my work ended with WorkPoint, Botanica became so famous. And I have to tell you, my impersonator in me could not resist because she's such a strong character. Like everything about her, the character that she's made up was so strong that any impersonator could not resist.
Seriously ยุคนี้ยังมีคนใช้น้ำตาลด้วยเหรอเขาใช้ย่าหวานกันหมดแล้วค่ะ
I have to agree.
Right?
Have to agree on that. Yes.
You don't have to be an impersonator to want to put on a rope and a hair rope and everything to be Botanica at the time. So I did that, and it caught on again.
Right.
So at the time, I really started making money for the first time after 8-9 years of doing YouTube.
Is it from the monetized video, or is it from the sponsors, or?
It's from the sponsors. It's from the sponsors. So for not having the work on TV, I sort of have this Botanica moment there that was like a soft cushion for me to fell on. So that was kind of nice. But you know, all of the waves comes and goes, and that goes too as well. Yeah.
Sure, for sure. Were there anything else that make you feel like I don't want to create content anymore? I'm not inspired, or I want to give up on this. What would be the main factors?
You know, my whole life, I've lived life focusing on having fun. When you ask me about me doing a lot of things, because all those things give me that sense of excitement and I had fun with it. But the moment you are dictated or you're told to say something, you have to make your character like this. Can you make it more แบบหน้าหมั่นไส้เพิ่มได้ไหมคะอะไรอย่างเงี้ย So that's not fun. That's not fun anymore. And I was confused. That am I doing this for fun or am I doing this for money? Because I started by doing it for fun, and then once the money got involved, I was confused basically. So that's why I didn't know what to do, so I just stopped. Yeah.
If you were to summarize your experience of creating content on YouTube, you have done so many. I think I would say that you have done a lot of experimentation on like you're gonna do this and do this, and now that you are here, I think what would be the biggest lessons learned from doing this over 10 years of being on YouTube?
Wow. Like I think I really got to work with myself in terms of how I view myself and how to love myself and how to be okay to authentically be myself. Because you know, when people like a certain part of you so much, you want to be that certain part of you all the time. So people like you all the time, and that kind of indicates that you need approval. And when you need approval from other people, it kind of indicates that you don't feel that self-love or self-worth. So that really what I've been working on myself for the whole 10 years since I started with YouTube. And YouTube sort of allows me to do that, allows me to see myself online, like on the face recap, and I can see my vulnerability there. Yes. I see that. I see vulnerability there. So I could delete it and I could say, yeah, I can move on. I can change. Born today and born tomorrow don't have to be the same person, no matter what people think. You have to know why you're here. Like, why are you doing YouTube? Are you here to make money? And that's not wrong to accept that I'm here for money, but are you here for fame? And it's not wrong either. Are you here for approval? It's not, nothing is wrong as long as you accept it. I think the problem starts when you don't accept or you don't even know why you're here. You're just here because people click a lot of likes and it makes you some money. So I was confused as I was. Like, am I here for approval, or is it money, or is it fun? What is it, So it's important to really know why you're here.
Now, this leads me to my next question. So I really want to know, of course, from someone who's been doing this for so long, and you have also worked in many content creation industry. So from your point of view, what do you think is the quality content?
คำถามแพงมาก
อุ้ย ถึงกับต้องตบโต๊ะ
ซีดปากเลยอ่ะ I think quality is different for all of us. Depends on what you look for. If you look for entertainment, crazy channel doing crazy things could be quality for you because that's what you look for. But to me, when I go on YouTube, I like it to be intensely informative. I like watching psychological related clips and all of human development type of things. So quality means it's packed with information that I need. That's my quality. It's packed with information. The quality of visual quality, audio quality is very important in the word quality clips for me. It needs to have that technical quality as well as all the information that I want to hear. And it has to, especially if you can have someone who's an expert on that field talking about it, then that's super awesome for me. Yeah.
Exactly.
Is it the same to you?
Yeah. And then that's why I kind of have to definitely agree on that, because I think it's personalized, right? It's kind of like it's different from one person to another. I'm trying to see and dig deeper into your process of creating content nowadays, of course. I think it's different like years ago and now. What goes into the consideration of like, oh, I'm going to talk about this topic, or I'm going to ask this person to do a live streaming session with me, or I'm going to answer this particular question. What goes into your head before actually putting content out there?
Yeah. First, the topic has to touch my heart. Like I have to feel it from inside that I want to talk about this, or the person has a message that I'm very interested in. So for example, I interviewed Dr. Sombat. Dr. Sombat is the guy who forgave the murder of his son. Yeah. And that happens in the US. And this made news in all of the news channel around the world. So when I watched it, I think I found it randomly through Facebook. And I watched it and I thought, Sombat sounds like a Thai name. So I searched for his name and I found him on Facebook. So I asked if he could do an interview with me. And I think that interview touched all of the criteria for me as a quality content. I have someone who has been through what he's talking about, walk the talk, do what he preach, and it's not easy for someone to forgive someone who killed your child. So I think that was really one of my I feel like I'm here to do what I should be doing that day, like to deliver such message, to be a bridge between my viewer and something out there that I find valuable, and giving it to the audience. I think it was that day.
Right now, you can all agree that becoming a YouTuber is probably one of the most desired career now. So there are many people out there who would like to start their own YouTube channel or already started maybe. Do you have any advice for them? Especially, I think now some people are like, is it too late now? Is there too much competition now? What would be your advice?
My advice is that first, it's not too late. It's never too late. People are always looking for something new. You see something that is so successful right now, but it'll get old. So people are always searching for something new. So if you want to do it, just do it. But what my advice is to really know, why are you doing it? Why? That's very important to me. Are you doing it for fun? Or are you doing it for approval? Because sometimes when people start doing it, and then after 3 clips of 12 viewers of their friends and family, they start, feeling like, I don't want to do it anymore. So are you actually doing it for fun? Or are you doing it for some likes and views? So you really have to come to terms with yourself and make peace with why you're really here. There's nothing wrong about being wanting money or fame. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you can be clear with why you're here, step forward will be clear as well, and you will not be confused. You will not be discouraged easily, because you know why you're here.
I see. Would there be like a secret sauce or a tip for them to kind of like, okay, you can keep on doing this, or you're probably gonna reach a tipping point if you have this characteristic, or if you have this secret sauce?
I would say start from what you like. That's a very everyday answer for how to begin doing a YouTube. Start with what you like. I start with what I like to do. I impersonate characters. So what do you like to do? Or what do you want to talk about? Or do you have a certain message that you want to talk about? But it has to be yours. That's very important. It has to be yours. It has to come out of you genuinely. Because otherwise you can talk about things that people are interested, but if you're not interested, it can only last so long. So it really has to come from you and your. Yeah.
โอ้มีกำลังใจในการเริ่ม YouTube แล้วค่ะ We have to talk about you as a brilliant public speaker. So can you maybe walk us through or tell us a bit about your experience winning Thailand's national speech contest in 2004? Which is, yeah.
มีความมงมีความตำแหน่ง I entered the competition when I was the last year of the university, I think it was. Because I spent 6 years at the university, not 4. And that was the last year, and I just felt like having fun. Fun was always my word. Like, I want to have fun doing this. So I just entered, and by luck or whatever, I was the winner.
It's definitely not by luck, as I was like listening to your story.But it was really อยากให้ทุกคนเข้าไปดูนะคะถ้าใครยังไม่ได้เคยเข้าไปดูนะชอบวิดีโอนั้นของพี่ปอนมากนะชอบมากเลย Really like that you said you don't like competition. But you decided to do it out of fun. Can you maybe walk us through the experience of if you still could recall, like how did you prepare for that contest?
Okay, so there were 2 rounds. So I remember the first round. I just wrote up my speech.And got on stage very nervously. I remember I shook, like literally physically shook like this. before when I was waiting for my turn to go up the stage because I've never been in such a huge competition before. Yeah, I was when I was younger. I was always เด็กกิจกรรมอะค่ะเล็กๆน้อยๆอะไรเงี้ย but national speech contest like yeah, so that was new to me to be in such a huge competition. So I was so nervous and shook. But as soon as like they called me up on the stage, something happened, and I just went out there and just gave the speech, and I got into the next round. เป็นตัวแทนภาคกลาง
wow
yeah so that was how I prepared for my first round. For my second round it was because I sort of felt given up on myself because I thought wow ตัวแทนภาคกลางแต่ละคนคือแบบจุฬานะ all three of them were from จุฬาลงกรณ์ universities and they're all so amazing. I saw them the first round and how could I compete with them? Competing is not one of my strengths. I'm not a very competitive person, but it got fun the night before the final. Yeah, it felt kind of like, oh, what if okay, let's go. Because now that I've got the opportunity, why not? Like, I just talked to myself the night before. So I thought it will be fun if I prepare something now and go give a speech just for fun.
So you don't have much expectation whether like I'm gonna go this to it.
No. Yeah, so everything was out of fun. So I wrote up the speech, I practiced. It was not like that one night. It was maybe 2 nights that I prepared for that piece and got on stage and just had fun. As you can see in the video clip that I just sort of act like a teacher, when I started and had fun with it.
Not in my class, all right? Yes? That sound was correct, Mr. Somkit, but go back and focus on your textbook more. And tuck in your shirt, will ya?
But all the other contestants that year were amazing. Like once we all finished our speech, I could not believe I've won because they were all amazing. Seriously. Yeah.
Wow. So what now that you come back to your a little bit of wiser self, would you looking back now, what do you think this is the reasons that I was chosen the winner of this contest because I have this characteristic or because I say it like this?
There's a sense of freedom about me on stage. I move very freely and I just sort of have fun with it. You can feel that I was having fun on stage and getting a control of my audience, so I think it was that element of fun. And Kun Andrew Big, who was the judge that day, told me that everyone was fantastic, but the reason that I won was because a sense of entertaining.
I see.
I was entertaining, he said.
Because you had fun speaking.
Yeah.
People also had fun listening to you.
The other factor is that I didn't expect to win. That's the thing. I went up to have fun and your energy when you just want to have fun, it's light, it's bright and light, and people feel better when you just have fun.
Absolutely. That's why they say when you detach yourself from the outcome, you kind of like become the best version of yourself somehow.
That's so good. แพงแล้ว
Of course, you already have the skills, and then that contest become like you become the winner of the national speech contest. But the skills itself, how's that paved the way for you? Why is it so important?
If you want to be in the business, especially online business, you have to be able to convey your message out to the audience. So if you were a salesperson, you need to convey why they should buy your product. Or if you were a banker, maybe you don't even have to interact with the customers, but you have to interact with your boss. You have to be able to convey your initiations or things like that. I think be very careful with choosing words is one of the qualities of public speaker is choosing the most like minimal อ่ะคือยิ่งใช้ให้น้อยแต่คำนั้นต้องคัดมาดีแล้ว
Oh yeah.
So I think it's important no matter what you do because you have to talk. If you want something, you have to ask.
For sure.
Yeah, and I think everybody are in a way selling something every day. Selling yourself, selling your idea, selling your product. So you still need to talk, and public speaking is communicating to a lot of people at once. It's not just you and me, it's to a lot of people at once. So of course it's different from a personal conversation like this. It's different.
So you can scale the impact that you're making.
Yes.
That's
Right.
amazing. Now, can you share some tips maybe as a national speech contest winner? I keep saying this for like how many times? But do you have like some essential tips for people learning to do public speaking?
Okay, it's really weird because it's the same as it's really weird because it's the same as how you start doing a YouTube channel. Why?
Start with why.
WHY. Why are you talking? They hired you to talk about something. Why they hired you? What's your strengths? They could hire other people. Other people can talk about stress as well. Why you? First you have to get in touch with your strength first. Why it has to be you who talk about this. And then deliver that. And a lot of time when I take on training jobs or speaker job, I would talk to the organizer first, what they want out of me, or what the effect they want this talk to be on people.
For sure.
Yeah. And then you start from there. You start from your strength, you start from why.
Some people feel like they don't feel too confident, and to us, like seeing you as a, of course, public speaker, content creator, you seems to have a lot of self-confidence, and we feel like you can pull it off. พี่ปอนก็ทำได้สิเพราะว่าพี่ปอนมั่นใจในตัวเองแบบพี่ปอนดูรู้ตลอดเลยว่าต้องพูดว่าอะไร let's say for someone who have self-esteem issue or lacking confidence in speaking to people, is there anything that they can do to kind of like boost their confidence?
I think confidence is not where you start. Confidence is a result. So a result of what? A result of knowing that you can do this. How do you know you can do this in terms of public speaking? Is that you have to have information. เวลาที่ออกไปพูดแล้วแบบว่าสมมุตินะคะเขียนบทมาแล้วแบบว่ายังจำบทไม่ได้เวลาเราไปรายงานหน้าห้องอ่ะแล้วก็คือเพื่อนเป็นคนเขียนมาไงเพื่อนไปหาข้อมูลแล้วเราต้องออกมาพูดเราก็จะเราก็จะกลัวเราก็จะพูดไม่ได้เพราะว่าเราไม่มีข้อมูล You have to have the information and you have to know more than your audience or you have been through that experience yourself คือน้องอาจจะแบบไม่มั่นใจเลยอะค่ะพูดเรื่องนี้ไม่ได้แต่ if I was to ask you to tell me about your previous breakup or you can
nobody knows it better.
Yeah, you can tell me for like the whole 5 hours, right? You don't need the confidence. You just need to be through it, and it's about you. It's coming out of you. The confidence is a result of it's being through your system, either by reading or writing, listening, or with experience. It has to go through your system.
I see. แพงมากแพง yeah, and I feel like that's something that you can work on, right? It's not magically appear. It's something that you can always work on and work better, right?
Yes.
now I have been waiting for this moment because I really want to know this โอ้ถึงกับ
ถกเลยถก
ถกบ้าง
Yeah.
So I'm so excited to talk about this. I've been waiting for this moment. So you are a strength consultant, or
Yes.
do we say strength consultant, right? So
Yeah.
first of all, what does that entail? Like what's it like being a strength consultant?
A strengths consultant, like first, I'm a Gallup strengths consultant, and that means I'm certified. So I've been through the whole hours needed. There is a theory of strength development, and it's believed that you should really develop all the qualities that you are already good at versus what we've always been doing is that you find the quality that you're not good at and you develop those. But strengths says no, find the qualities that you're already good at and develop those so you can just shoot to the sky and not going through all of these things that you're not built to do.
I see.
So as a coach, I would go through all of their strengths. First, they have to take a test, and then we'll go through all of the results together and how they can improve and be more aware, because all of the strengths has their downfall as well. So developing meaning of being aware of both pros and cons of your strength and how to use it, when to use it.
That's amazing. I think sometimes we kind of get lost because we feel like, oh, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that, or like, when will I be good enough for something, or like what's actually my strength. So if I were to identify, of course you have to take the tests and all to be able to identify that more accurately. So for how can they start this journey of identifying their strength? What would be the steps taken?
It's to observe yourself. When you do something, when you use a certain skill and you feel like the time has gone by so fast, or people praise you for doing that, or people ask for help always about that. Can you help me see what's wrong with this? Or can you help me if I was to take this choice? What are the dangers I might face? Or things like that. Like people always come to you for something that might be one of your strengths and something that you enjoy, and time pass by so quickly, or in the flow when you use that skill. That could be your strength. And sometimes a lot of people know already what they're good at. Like I was mentioning to you, I'm pretty sure that positivity is in your top 5.
For sure. So I think I have like a sense, and I think people quite have a sense, but it's kind of blurry, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah, and a lot of time when you have a certain quality, because all the qualities are very unique to you. You might have positivity, but it works with, say, harmony. When positivity works with harmony and communication, it comes out like that. But other people may have positivity, but it works with strategic thinking. It works with other qualities. So it comes out very differently. So each of us, knowing it or not, are very unique, because in terms of statistic that came out, it says there's only one person in 33 million that might have the same top 5 as you in order. 1 in 33. So every one of us are so unique. So are you, so am I, so is everybody watching right now. Yeah.
So you never have to feel less than anyone at all, because once you know your uniqueness.
Imagine you realize what you have that is unique. บางคนจะใช้คำว่าแปลกแปลกเธอไม่รู้ตัวเดี๋ยววันนี้จะมาเรียนกันว่าแปลกยังไงอะไรอย่างเงี้ยคือบางคนเขาก็ไม่ทัชกับคำว่าพิเศษหรือคำว่ายูนิคไงแต่พอบอกแปลกรู้เลย
Let's say that we found, or we get a sense of what our strengths are already.
Yeah.
Once we know that, what do you think we can accomplish more, or how does that change our lives as a whole once we know our strength?
For sure. Gallup, which is the biggest เขาเรียกว่าเป็นบริษัทสถิติที่ใหญ่ที่สุดในอเมริกา So when there are presidential election, it's always been Gallup poll. Have you heard of that?
Maybe I think I might have heard that. Yes. So Gallup has been all over America, maybe all over the world, to collect the data and to collect the strengths. And they really want to study what all the successful managers and CEOs have in common. Is there a particular set of strengths that they have to have? So the result came out that no, there is no particular set of strengths that they have in common. But there is one thing in common, is that they know exactly what they're good at. They know their limitations. They know themselves really well. That's what they have in common. And if you ask just random people, I think most people would say they don't know what their strength is. But successful people, or tend to be successful people, can name them right out. Wow.
So imagine you know what you bring to the table that's different to other people. You will never be scared of losing a job because you know you bring something special to the table.
Last but not least, for those who are so struggling to find themselves, to find their strengths and maybe what is meaningful to them, let's say. Finding themselves กำลังค้นหาตัวเองอยู่เป็นคำถามที่คนถามแล้วก็สนใจเยอะมากๆเลยค่ะว่าแบบเราต้องการหาตัวเองหาตัวตนหาความสามารถหา passion หาจุดแข็งของตัวเอง Do you have advice or message for those who are discovering or finding themselves right now?
Okay. I think we should not focus on what we like. We should focus on what we can do. And that's your skill set. Because your likes and dislikes change over time. Right? You used to like something and now you don't like it anymore. I used to hate vegetables and now it's my favorite. Now I love salad. So your likes and dislikes change over time. But your set of skills will always be there with you. And very unique to you. And why not get to know that better? And why not sharpen those skills instead of finding your passion? Your passion change too. It depends on what you like and not like, depends on a lot of things. So really just know your tools. Don't care about what you like and not like. Care about your tools, care about your qualities. For examples, I'm just giving examples of some of the qualities in the strengths. I have it here with me. So for example, you might have positivity, you might have empathy, harmony, adaptability, responsibility. Intellection is someone who likes to think deep into the core of something. There are different kinds of thinking. Some people like to think deep. Some people like to think of options, and that's strategic thinking. And some people have that woo. Woo is short for winning others over. Love meeting new people and just getting yourself out there and just making everyone loves you. So all of these qualities are very personal to us. And so you have to be able to pinpoint how your qualities make you stand out. I get so pumped talking about this, and I can feel like something I can do my whole life, because one of my qualities is developer. That means I love seeing people get better. It's not about computer programming. Developer means you like to see another human being gets better. And that was in my top 10. And I'm a maximizer, meaning I always look for something good and then I want to make that better. So the downfall of maximizer is always not good enough. Like เวลาที่สมมติว่ามีคนมาเรียนพูดในที่สาธารณะใช่ไหมคะแล้วเขาเรียนแล้วเราก็ให้เขาไหนลองพูดสิคะไหนลองตอบคำถามสิคะ and they would give me their best answer, I would go, ได้อีก always, because I have that maximizer. Like I don't stop pushing for the higher ground, but that's a downfall as well.
Oh, I see. Wow. That's to me it's such a privilege to, I feel so lucky to be talking and learning so much from you. This is like 1 hour or so, but I feel like I'm learning like for a lot already.
I just want to tell you everything. You're just that sort of person that's just like, oh, I want to tell you everything. Yes.
Oh, that's the highest compliment there is. I must say this, Pipon, you are such a gift to this world. Seriously. Your content is like, I already told you this, but your content is like getting a free therapy or something like that. So
is yours. Thank you too. Thank you for making amazing, positive, bright and shining content for us. Like people don't even have to come and learn English, not just to watch you. Now you're so good to look at.
เราทัวร์อีกแล้ว Oh, thank you so much, Pipon. I must say thank you so much for making your time to be. I know you're wearing many hats and doing many things, incredible things, and helping a lot of people. So thank you so much for making your time to be here today นะคะ once again.
You're
ขอบคุณ
welcome.
มากๆเลยนะ
ขอบคุณ
คะ
ค่ะ
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what are the lessons you have learned from today's talk? คือต้องเขียนมาเป็น article essay ยาวๆแล้วแหละจุดเนี้ย Let us know in the comment down below. I will go into the comment section. I'm pretty sure people will be looking at your comments as well. So yeah, that would be it for today. Thank you for watching and listening to our show. And that's it for today. Bye.
Bye.